Do you have a bad habit or addiction that you want to get rid of? I will give you a 7-step guide on how to get rid of it. Step 1. Accept that you have a problem. If something is negatively affecting your life and you can't live without it, it's probably an addiction. You need to admit to yourself that you have a problem, and that isn't easy to do. Even after admitting that to yourself, sometimes your mind can trick you into your bad habit or addiction. So you need to remember that your addiction is real to have any chance at beating these cravings. You may tell yourself that, oh, it's not too bad, oh, this one time, oh, it doesn't really count, oh, I'll start tomorrow. These are lies, and preferably you should have something to remind yourself of that truth. Step 2. Have a clear goal. If your goal is just lessen the habit, the likelihood of you sticking to your new ways is extremely low. You should have a clear set goal. The clearer, the better, as then it's harder to trick yourself into denying it and falling back to your addiction. If/when doing cold turkey doesn't work, start your goal smaller. I'm allowed to do this thing this much per day. I can do this 3 times a week, etc. These small wins help you stick to your goal and change your identity. Then gradually lessen it. Shaking off 3 times a week turns into 2, then 1, then twice a month, then 1 time a month, and after that you can just stop doing this. Break out of your habit. But if it isn't instantly successful, do it slower. At least when your addiction isn't too dangerous for you. I'll only use meth once per week doesn't sound as good as my example. Step 3. Change your identity. Changing your identity is important. Going from I'm a smoker to I'm trying to quit smoking is already a good step. It reminds you that you no longer want to do it, and hopefully other people will respect it. But changing I'm trying to quit smoking to I don't smoke can be even better. It shows that you are serious and can change. You should back up your new identity with proof, and this proof should be the small and bigger wins you have managed to gain that I mentioned in the previous steps. Step 4. Change your surroundings. If your new identity is having a hard time sticking onto you, changing your surroundings can help. Everyone knows that when a person moves down or starts at a new school, they can be perceived completely differently than their former peers did. And no, I'm not forcing you to abandon your friends. You can change your surroundings by simply shifting items in your room to different locations or dressing in a slightly different way. Either way, you are showing the new you. Step 5. Change your habits/routines. This is extremely important. If you still live the exact same way that you did when you were addicted, it will be harder to quit. You will still have the same triggers as before, so the chance of relapse is high. What are triggers? Triggers are something that makes you do something. A trigger for playing video games might be seeing your console while being in your room. A trigger for exercise can be anything, but a simple reminder could be an easy solution. So, get some new habits and activities. Ensure that they are enjoyable, positive, and easy to do. Just change your routine. We humans are not supposed to do the exact same thing all our life. Step 6. Make your bad habit/addiction less enjoyable and unattractive. Make sure the thing you're addicted to is not at your arm's reach or visible. People who are addicted to something will relapse much more likely if it's easy to access. I will use my personal story for this. I've had a bad habit of watching too much YouTube, and I've had it for a while. I spent almost all of my free time watching YouTube videos. When I finally admitted to watching it too much, I did the following things in the following order to fix this. You can follow these as well if you have the same problem. Firstly, I made it so YouTube won't automatically play the next video. It's small, but having to put the brain power into manually clicking on the screen already makes a difference. But still, this alone didn't change much. Then, I put those notifications on to remind you to take a break or go to sleep. Again, this gave my brain a small break, but I would just click to ignore it. So, they weren't game changers. Next up, I did something that many would consider quite drastic. I put my phone on black and white and night mode 24/7. This helped a lot. For a moment. The color on our screens is a huge reason why we use it. It's the thing that often draws you to keep watching. Did you realize it or not? But after a while I just got used to it. You don't need colors to enjoy watching YouTube videos. It just made it less enjoyable. It hadn't made it unattractive. You may think that being less enjoyable and unattractive are the same thing, but they're not. While watching YouTube was certainly less enjoyable, it was still way more enjoyable than most of the things. This is where making it unattractive came in. I put a time limit on watching YouTube. While obvious to many, I hadn't even considered it until my friend said that he had done it. That day I put it on, and then each next day I would remove an hour of watch time. I utilized a previously mentioned technique, and it worked. My monkey brain still wanted to watch YouTube, but started seeing it as a preservable resource instead of an infinite time-wasting loop. And I'm happy to say that I've already cut my time spent on YouTube to a third of what it once was, and will probably keep doing so. Hopefully, you can use this for other addictions as well. My progress wouldn't have been possible without the previous things mentioned, especially getting something else to do, nor without the next things. Step 7. Talk to other people about it. This can be friends, AA, therapy, whatever works for you. It can help with uncovering any underlying reasons for your addiction, with this being especially for therapy. Maybe you're doing it for validation, for insecurity, or anything else. Then, hopefully, you can start treating that core issue. Of course, it's easiest to talk with friends, at least if you have good ones. As dudes, it can be hard to talk about this stuff, but hopefully we are moving in a direction where we all can. If your addiction is really serious, please don't be afraid of seeking professional help. There are a lot of programs and numbers to call. If you're a student, your school may even have free options or advisors. And remember that success isn't linear. It doesn't happen instantly, and it takes time. You will have setbacks. You will have ruts. But as long as you come back from those falls, you will move towards winning this battle. And no, it's never too late to change. And I know people who have had it rough, and they are okay now. It may not have been easy, but it wasn't complicated. And if they were able to change, you can stop touching your wee-wee. So please help me out by subscribing. I've only got a few.